These are the required points to express in your ad. Feel free to paraphrase and speak from your own experience. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So, it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And please make sure, this point, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Do you know the spelling of anchor.fm? ANCHOR.FM. Thank you for your listening. See you. Hello everyone. I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. This time I'd like to talk about the era coming after coronavirus pandemic. As you know, coronavirus still exists in this world, and the pandemic hasn't ended yet. But actually, people are getting used to this situation, and I live in Japan, and the number of patients are 17 people in Tokyo, and this is the lowest number of patients in this year in Tokyo, which is why I think the pandemic of coronavirus has almost over in Japan. I'm recording this episode on October 26 in 2021, when the pandemic of coronavirus still exists, and though the number of the patients has decreased in my country, there is still a worry or concern about the surge or the increase of the number of patients again. Coronavirus still exists, which means there must be some kind of explosion or some kind of sharp increase of the patients of coronavirus. There is such a possibility, which is why people around me are still worried about such an explosion or sudden increase of the patients of coronavirus. The country I live in is in such a situation. And here I'd like to tell you that what I'd like to tell you is that you should prepare for the era coming after the pandemic of coronavirus, which means there have been many dangers and threats in this world, but after the beginning of the coronavirus and after the pandemic of coronavirus, those problems are hidden by the pandemic, which is what I think. And if the coronavirus ends, I think those problems would crop up or come up again. For example, terrorism. I forgot the name of the terrorist group, but Taliban people. They began to conquer Middle East country. I remember the name of the country, Afghanistan. They got their own powers, or they got their governmental powers again in Afghanistan. I think that this is one of the examples in those problems, which I think are going to come after the pandemic of after the end of the pandemic of coronavirus. And another example is the surge or the rise of China. China is a huge country, which I think most of you know. And recently, Chinese ships are coming to the territory of Japan, concerning which I think the influence of China would would grow larger and larger, and I think I think the next era coming after the pandemic is an era of diplomatic threats covering this world, which is why I think you should prepare for such eras coming after the coronavirus, coming after the pandemic of coronavirus. So whatever happens to your life, or whatever happens in your country, I think you should brace yourself, and you should keep an eye on some changes around yourself. That's it. So the conclusion is you should prepare for yourself, and you should prepare many things, and you should be careful of things around you for the era coming after the coronavirus. That's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.